Hi everyone, and welcome to another week of Coach's Corner. We're going to talk Ponca City High School football. It's fall break week, and that means that we have a Thursday night game this week. The good news is it's a home football game, so the students and parents not having to travel for a Thursday game. And then of course school officials and coaches and players, they'll have Thursday and Friday where they can kind of catch their breath a little bit as well. So it's good that it's an early game and you get a couple of days out of school, but the other side of it is you don't have quite as much preparation for your game. Coach Rob Fry, Thursday, an early game, the effects that it has on a football team.
Well, the only effects that it has is basically you don't have school that day. It messes up the kids' regiment, every day, what they do every day, wake up in the morning and go to school and do all that stuff. But we'll practice Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and we'll bring them in Thursday morning at 9:30. And people always ask, why do you bring them in? Well, get them up. I mean, that's the bottom line, because if they sleep too long, then they'll be lethargic and all that stuff. And, so we'll bring them in for about an hour and a half, and then we'll go eat at 3:30 and just do all the regular stuff from there on. And, yeah, it's a little different playing on Thursday, but, so Sand Springs, they're playing on Thursday also. So it's Phil, it's not that big of a deal. And they think of it, boom, they get Friday off, so, they can lay it in bed Friday and rest. So, we'll go ahead and practice Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Now, the Wednesday will be a longer practice, more so than what we turn around on Thursday and do it and play on Friday. But, it's not that big of a deal. It's just they don't have school that day.
I think if you took a poll of coaches and players, you'd rather play on Thursday than on Friday.
Well, yeah. During this week, there's no doubt. I mean, there's no doubt because everybody else is doing it. But 99% of there's some games still on Friday. But yeah, I mean, during this week, you betcha. I mean, you play on Thursday and rest on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So yeah, there's no doubt. The kids will like it because it's something different.
Well, we're at that point in the season where everybody is tired. It's been 2.5 months, grueling 2.5 months, and our Wildcats come into the ball game with a record of 1-6, and they'll play a good Sand Springs team. But Coach, that being said, I know particularly the first half of the Union game last Friday, you guys had a good solid first half of play. Couldn't quite match that in the second half. Some thoughts on the Union game?
We did. I mean, the kids come out believing in themselves, and that's what we strive to do every week. But certain things happen and all that. But they come out and they played well the first half. The second half we didn't do too bad. It's just the Union got on the roll, and Union came out and they had 4 or 5 starters out, and the young men that were backups had something to prove, and they come out and they got a little tail end chewing at halftime, and they took after it from there.
Well, the Wildcats lost to the Redskins 51-14, and now Ponca City gets another good team. I tell you, Sand Springs, as they come to Sullivan Stadium, they weren't very impressive, Rob, early in their season, but they are playing some of the best football in 6A right now.
They are. I mean, I picked them three or four in the district, preseason, because they've got those athletes, and they didn't lose. I mean, they didn't win a whole bunch of games last year, but they didn't lose the games by very much. They got great athletes, wide receivers, and their nose guard. I don't know if anybody's blocked them yet, and that's including Union. So they're tough. They run an offense that similar to ours, and they'll stop. And if we've got to keep moving around some to keep them off balance. So they throw the ball around and got a good running game. So it'll be another tough ball game.
Sand Springs has gone through a good period of quarterbacks. So they had Johnny Deaton, and now they've got a kid named Harger who is just as good, a real deal, 6'5", big, strong, good-looking kid.
Right. He's got the height where he can stand back here behind everybody and a pocket thrower, and they run some speed option, but not a whole bunch. But with him, so they really don't want him to run the ball. And here I'll say that, and they'll run the thing 30 times tomorrow or Thursday night. But he just soon they're going to throw the short stuff, dink around, dink and dunk over here, and then boom, try to beat you deep. So. We've got to be mentally ready, and we've got to, we got a chore this week again. So these next 3 weeks are brutal, just like the rest of the season has been.
Well, I saw that Enid beat Bixby 80-57, and sometimes you think you have defensive problems, those two teams, I can't even imagine how you could score 80 points in a 48-minute high school football game.
It's nuts. And I talked to some of the Enid coaches, and they said it was just one of those freak deals. And it was 10 minutes left to go in the ball game, and they're at 63 points, and they're wondering if they're going to win the game or not. And it was just one of those deals that everything worked, and that they tried that night, and it just went big. It wasn't that we're working for 10 or 12 yards; it's working for 40 to 60 to 80. And then I talked to the Bixby coaches also, and they said they basically said the same thing. It's just they ran the ball up and down the field on us, and we couldn't do anything about it. And they scored 57 and lose the ball game. So they're all both were shell shocked. So but bottom line is I don't care. I just soon beat both of them. But
right.
It hadn't happened. But 80 points and 57 points, total there. It's unbelievable in high school football. I mean, it's nuts what the offenses are doing now, and you see it on Saturdays and Sundays.
How would you like to score 57 points and still lose by 3 touchdowns?
Yeah,
So that's it.
That's not a good deal.
Not at all. What's the team's attitude right now, Rob? We got 3 games left. 2 of them are home games, and this isn't your first rodeo.
Right.
You've been through some of this before. You've got to keep them motivated. Sometimes it takes care of itself. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, we've got some kids that will stay motivated and do all that stuff, and we've got some that we're going to have to light a fire at their tail end, and it's just one of those deals as a coach, and the assistant coaches do a great job, and we've got to keep trying to motivate them, trying to do some things, and there's some kids that are just going to give up ship, and some that aren't. We're going to take those ones that aren't, and we're going to coach the fire out of them. I mean, we're going to still love them and hug their neck and get after them.
Don't forget, it's a Thursday game this week at 7:30 at Sullivan Stadium, and next week we'll talk with Coach Fry about the Bixby Spartans. Sand Springs Thursday night for Coach Fry, Phil Turney. See you at Sullivan Stadium.